Hello, my name is Lisa and I'm one of your teachers. Watch this video class with subtitles as many times as you need until you're able to understand it all without the subtitles. Then practice and enjoy watching it again several times, understanding everything as if it were your own language. Have your mouse handy and pause often to understand the examples better and comprehend the valuable concepts you will learn in this class. If you do it like this, you will learn a lot of English. Today, we are going to study the phrases there is and there are in the simple present. Let's start with there is and there are in the affirmative. To say that something exists somewhere, we usually use there is with singular nouns. For example, there is a dog in the garden. Remember to use contractions to sound more natural. So you can say, there's a dog in the garden. And we use there are with plural nouns. For example, there are some dogs in the garden. Let's see more examples of there is and there are in the affirmative. There's an old man at the door. There's some money on the table. There's some sugar in the cupboard. And now, some examples with there are. There are 3 old men at the door. There are some cigarettes on the table. There are some biscuits in the cupboard. Now, let's look at there is and there are in the negative. To say that something does not exist somewhere, we usually use there is not with singular nouns. For example, there is not any sugar in this coffee. And with the contraction, there isn't any sugar in this coffee. And there are not with plural nouns. For example, there are not any trains on Sunday. Or, there aren't any trains on Sunday. Notice that we use the word any in negative sentences. Let's look at more examples with there is and there are in the negative. Here are some examples in the singular. There isn't any work at the office. There isn't any snow on the mountains. There isn't any salt on the potatoes. There isn't any gin in this tonic. And now some examples in the plural. There aren't any tomatoes in the shop. There aren't any good films on TV. There aren't any people in the bar. There aren't any animals in our house. There aren't any trees in this park. But there's another way we can use there is and there are in the negative. Instead of there isn't any, or there aren't any, we can say there is no and there are no. Let's start with some examples in the singular using there is no. There is no work at the office. There is no snow in the mountains. There is no salt on the potatoes. There is no gin in this tonic. And examples in the plural using there are no. There are no good films on TV. There are no people in the bar. There are no animals in our house. There are no trees in this park. What about questions? Now we look at there is and there are in the interrogative. In questions, the verb goes first. We simply switch the two words around. There is becomes is there, and there are becomes are there. We can also use the word any when we want to express quantity. For example, is there any beer in the fridge? Let me give some more examples of there is and there are in the interrogative. Is there a place for me? Are there any buses to the airport? Are there any films on TV? Is there any ice in the fridge? Is there a problem with the computer? Is there a possibility of rain today? Is there any petrol in the car? Are there any letters for me? Are there any tables free? Are there any flights to London? Are there any women in the bar? Are there any aspirins in your bag? Let's move on to short answers with there is and there are. Remember that in English, we do not just say a simple yes or no. Look at these examples of negative and affirmative short answers with there is and there are. Is there a bus to the airport? Yes, there is. Is there any sugar in this tea? No, there isn't. Are there any trains to the airport? No, there aren't. Are there any buses to Paris from here? Yes, there are. And finally, question tags with there is and there are. We can use question tags to ask for confirmation at the end of the sentence. Look at these examples. There is a good film on TV tonight, isn't there? There isn't much to do here, is there? There are a lot of people here today, aren't there? There aren't any taxis on Sunday, are there? Well, in this class, you have revised the grammar in Unit 28 of our complete course and learned how to use the phrases there is and there are in the simple present. Enjoy Unit 28 and meet Kathy and Helen. Find out why apples are so important. Put your headset on and practice to improve your listening comprehension. Record and compare phrases to improve your speaking and learn how to write correctly. You will also gain fluency by interpreting roles, and then you will learn the grammar and new vocabulary. Keep on learning English. Take care. Bye.